Welcome to Take 5, a presentation that allows you to gain insight into business professionals through an interview consisting of 5 questions. I'm Tim Anderson. Today I have Ken McRae, an attorney, with me. Ken, welcome to Take 5.
Great, thanks for having me.
So now, I know that you have a background in economics. You studied that, and then you got your law degree. Tell us a little bit more about yourself and what drew you to the practice of law in the first place.
I always had an interest in the law. In high school, I did debate and those sorts of things, and the formation of policy and how we set those rules I always found interesting. I just didn't know what I was going to do with it. Then I was studying economics. I had a professor at the University of Kansas who had his PhD in economics and a law degree and was a big proponent of the interrelationships between economics and the law. He kind of gave me that final nudge I needed. I decided to go to law school and been practicing now for 15 years.
Now, I know that some attorneys are generalists. They'll get involved in about any sort of case. Others focus more specifically on certain areas. Where do you fall along that spectrum?
I really focus on 2 areas of my practice. I do family law, divorce, child support, custody modifications, and then I do estate planning, especially for young families, wills, trusts, powers of attorney, but especially focusing on folks that have children, they don't have a plan in place, they know they need a solid plan, they can't afford to go spend thousands of dollars, so what they need is a really basic, solid plan that says, here's how I want to watch my kids, here's how I want the money managed in the event something happens to me.
Divorce can be a tough area. A lot of emotions, you have children involved. What kind of philosophy do you take? What sort of approach do you take to that?
It really can be a very tough area, and it's emotionally exhausting. A lot of times it's not intellectually hard in that we kind of know what we're dealing with. We've got a certain number of assets, we've got the children, we know what the rules of the game are, but trying to decide how to figure those things out can just be really, really tough for the people going through it. I try to focus on implementing a long-term plan that's going to make things better in the future than they are today. So I try and minimize the conflict, work towards a practical solution. My philosophy is that divorce can be civil law, not civil war.
I like that. I like that. Now, you know, a lot of attorneys out there. What's something about your practice that distinguishes you, that maybe is unique about your practice?
Well, one of the things I'm most excited about is a new trend in the law, which is to allow people to represent themselves, but to still get some help from an attorney. It's what's called limited scope representation. So in the past, traditionally, you had 2 options. You either did everything yourself, or you hired an attorney and they did everything for you. And of course that led to a lot of concerns about how much that was going to cost, because there was no way to know for sure. If you hire someone for a divorce, how much is this going to cost? The answer is always going to be, well, it depends. I don't know how long this is going to take. What limited scope representation allows us to do is to say, all right, you want to represent yourself, but you need some help. You're not quite sure how to do this. So I'll sit down with somebody for 2 hours, prepare all their forms and pleadings to get that case started so they know they're getting off on the right foot. They're presenting the information the court needs. It also gives them an opportunity to answer questions, to get some advice about the process from somebody who knows what's going on, somebody who has been doing it for 15 years and can really explain that process to them. It's kind of an upgrade from just going on a website and getting the forms, where all you get is the documents themselves, but then no explanation of what to do with them or how the process is going to involve. But it's something less than full-blown hiring an attorney for an unlimited scope where you don't know what the costs are. It's an ability to control your costs, control your case, but still have some insight from somebody who knows the terrain.
Sounds like quite an innovation.
It really is. It's something very exciting. Kansas has started allowing this 2 years ago. It's fairly new to the area. There are other places that have been doing it longer. A lot of the traditional law firms were initially opposed to it, just because it was different than what they've done in the past. And so there aren't a lot of people that are talking about it, but it is a service that's now available. It's something I'm excited about doing. I've tried to come up with a concept to express how I'm going to do this, how I'm going to help people where they're still in control. They're just getting some assistance from somebody who knows what's going on and has been through the process before. So I'm calling it Your Legal Sherpa. The idea of a Sherpa being, of course, someone who helps you scale a mountain. They know that terrain, they know the weather conditions and how those things impact what you're doing, but you still are the one climbing the mountain, you're still getting there. So it's a way for me to help you get where you want to go, chance for me to be the trusted guide for your mountain of paperwork.
What do you see for yourself down the road? Where do you see your law practice heading in the future?
As I've been thinking about this legal Sherpa idea, I've really been focused just on the family law side of things, helping people who want to file a divorce but are afraid they can't afford an attorney. I really hope that as I go forward, there's going to be an opportunity to expand this into other areas. I can see people who want to start their own business and need a corporation or a limited liability company. Again, they need a little bit of help. They don't want to hire somebody to be their corporate attorney because they don't have the book of business to justify that, but they'd like somebody to help them put those forms together, get that filed with the Secretary of State, get a tax ID number issued from the IRS, do those sorts of things. I also want to do more with the estate planning, the wills and trusts, with a fixed upfront price, because I really think that's the key going forward. Attorneys are one of the few places where you go hire someone and you have no idea what your cost structure is going to be. You know, I was telling somebody the other day, you go to a restaurant and order the chicken, you know how much you're going to pay it. The chef doesn't say, well, it depends on how long I cook it, what kind of seasoning I use, and I'll tell you the price after we're done. But that's how lawyers have traditionally operated. And I'm really trying to go to a model where I can tell you up front, if you want a will for a husband and wife, and we're going to do powers of attorney and healthcare powers of attorney and living wills, and we've got some kids, that's what we want to take care of, the price for that's going to be $750. And you know that up front, you can budget for that, and you're not going to get any surprises at the end. Well, I took a little bit longer than I thought. You know that. And so I'm looking for other areas where I can expand this, use that upfront pricing, help people to get where they want to go without having to worry about the cost of hiring an attorney on a full-time basis.
Sounds terrific. Ken, thanks so much for being here today.
Thanks, Tim. I really enjoyed it.
Appreciate it.